What's up, tribe? Welcome back to the Matthew and Carlene channel. Today we are covering a subject that, hey, I know a lot of you have been asking for, which is navigating the fiancé visa through personal experience. Now, I'm terribly sorry for waiting, everybody, but I want to get almost done with our road through it before we talk about through personal experience, because, hey, that's what this channel is all about. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, just for a disclaimer, when it comes to the fiancé visa or K1 visa, whatever you like to call it, it is a case-by-case experience. It literally is. Everybody's journey with it is going to be different. So, there might be some little bitty details in this you'll have to figure out for yourself. However, no need to threat, because we'll be able to go over the more broader and, dare I say, more common details for you by personal experience. Now, I know when it comes to navigating the fiancé visa route, a lot of people like to jump to using an immigration attorney. And hey, if you want to do that, that's just fine. However, from me and Carlene's experience, an immigration attorney will literally cost you an arm and a leg, and there'll be an extraordinarily huge wait time. There literally will be. Fortunately, you don't need an immigration attorney to fill out this K1 visa or fiancé visa stuff. What I do recommend you get is someone who has enough legal training to understand the legal paperwork of this stuff. Whether it be a paralegal, or what me and Carlene used was an immigration agency in the Philippines. Yeah. Now, the other part I like to emphasize, and yes, I'm completely on your guys' side, your foreign queen, whether it be she's from the Philippines, Colombia, is certainly going to get stressed out with you about this. However, despite the fact that the K1 visa says you only need one visit to qualify for all this, I highly recommend you do 2 visits before, at least proof of 2 visits before you submit this. I very much recommend this. And yes, like I said, your woman from overseas, she might get a little bit irritated with you, but trust me, in the long run, she's going to be thanking you for this. The reason why is because when it comes to submitting proof of relationships of your relationship, which is required for this, you want documentational proof of everything. And I do mean everything, because let me tell you, immigration is going to be asking for every single document you can think of. They will. They honest God will. Like, for example, when it comes to your proof of relationship, you want to keep your entire phone record, your entire text history. You want to get the plane tickets, the receipts for your plane trips to go see her. You want to take lots of photos together. When you're taking photos together in her country, you want the relatives that are in the first set of photos, that are in the first visit, to be the same relatives that are in the second visit. All that stuff. You want receipts. You also going to want to open up like a secondary bank account in her country to show, like, hey, we have proof of navigating currency exchanges, of coordinating with each other when it comes to currency exchanges, all that stuff. You want proof of everything. Because, let me tell you this, before you submit that K1 visa, you want to have an airtight case that this is a genuine relationship. And by airtight, you want to have a case that makes you so legal, that makes this relationship look so obviously genuine, that from an attorney's point of view, it's just flat out embarrassing that it's going to take this long. And yes, it will take a long time for it to be approved. Trust me when I say this, immigration will test your patience. They will. Anyways, moving on from that, you're going to be noticing that there are 3 traits within these documents that immigration are going to be asking for from both of you. On your end, it's going to be, hey, you're not broke. They want every single document imaginable that will show that you yourself, the sponsor, are not broke. When it comes to your woman who you are filing the fiancé visa for, they're going to want every single documentational proof imaginable that, hey, she's not a crook. And that she's not someone trying to use other government agencies here to finagle the system, the immigration system, essentially stuff like that. And she's willing to follow your lead, the sponsor. Because technically, you are the American citizen, you are also her sponsor. I know the feminist movement keeps constantly saying that, like, hey, people who become passport bros are broke, dusty men who are marrying women who have every intention of leaving us the moment they get their green card. But let me tell you this, everybody. I'm going to tell you straight up. The days where, like, hey, you could use other government agencies to finagle the system, the immigration system, those days are officially over. You take a look at all these, you take a look at the nitty-gritty details about all these deportations that are happening, you're going to notice that the common denominator is that if your woman gets put on any type of government handout program, whether it be child support or she's trying to get on alimony, anything, she's going to be deported. She will. Yeah. Everybody's made it perfectly clear, like, hey, you cannot finagle the system anymore. You can't. Those days are officially over. They are. Now, I can't go into too many details of my wife's end because let me tell you, that's a whole lot of stuff. It is. But for you, like I said, they want documentation proof that you are not broke. So, you're going to need to submit like relatively 3 to 6 months of W-2 forms, bank statements. Yep. Let's see. Bank statements. Let's see. Pay. Submit 3 to 6 months worth of pay stubs, tax returns, all that jazz. You're also going to need to go through the FBI to get a criminal FBI background check on you, also known as a rap sheet. In case you guys don't know how to do that or you need some assistance, well, let me tell you from my experience, go online, type up your local FBI office, call the help desk number. Trust me, it will be very easy to get a hold of an agent there. I doubt they really get that many calls, who'll be willing to walk you through the process of how to do it 100% legally in the eyes of the government. When you're doing that, one thing they're going to ask you to do is that they're going to have to ask you to go to a post office to get your fingerprint scanned. That you can turn over to immigration as well. Yep, they want that too. The other thing for you guys that you're going to have to do to submit this K1 Fiancé visa is you're going to need to go to your county clerk's office or town hall. And you're going to have to request for a certificate of no marriage. In case you guys don't know what that is, that's a legal document you get from your county clerk or your town hall showing that, hey, you're not already legally married in the eyes of your state or government while you're trying to apply for this fiancé visa. They want proof of that as well. Oh, also, they're going to want to say the exact same thing from your spouse too. Now, here's something I want to be perfectly frank with you guys. You need to make sure you have a job when you're applying for this. When you're applying for this fiancé visa stuff. Immigration does not care about your life savings. They care if you have a continual source of income. That's what they care about. You can have like millions of dollars in savings. They don't care about that. They care about a continual source of income. Now, admittedly, in order to qualify for this, you don't need to make six figures like a lot of women in the feminist movement here in the West keep asking for. But you do need to make roughly above minimum wage in order to qualify for this, from what I saw. Now, given what your case-by-case situation is, submitting the fiancé visa or the K1 visa first go around will pretty much cost about like $700. It will. Now, if you're going to the from the state of Florida to the island of Philippines, like the Iloilo, cheapest flights, round trip flights, will be 2,000. No matter which way you go about it. Which I know a lot of this sounds expensive, everybody, but when you take a good look at what you've been spending on the local Western dating markets, and you cut all that out of your budget, all this stuff becomes a lot more affordable. It really does. Anyways, after this, you won't want to download an app from the USCIS to keep track of your case. You'll want to contact them I say relatively every month or so to get an update, make sure they haven't forgotten about you. Because there are times when, I have heard there are times when these cases get kind of lost. So, do that. Usually it will take about 6 months for them to fully process it. Yeah, etc. But, trust me, let me tell you this, it'll be easy for your woman to get a job once this is all over. It really would be, because, hey, you have every single document imaginable to show that she's very hardworking. You will. Oh, boy. Once that is passed, you will have to do a biometric as well as an interview with immigration at the immigration embassy. That's when I recommend you help her rent a hotel that's very close to the immigration embassy, to the American embassy that's literally in her home country. Another thing I recommend is that you have your woman go on multiple different K1 visas, those Facebook groups in her country, so she can befriend a lot of women who are doing this exact same stuff. Because let me tell you straight up, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You want to get as much information as you possibly can from multiple different sources while you're doing this. Trust me, you want to be fully prepared. Anyways, if all things go in pass, alright, then you just have everything goes well, you officially passed, then you now have to just get her over here. Now, a lot of times there are people out there who think that, hey, out of everything she's done, the most gentlemanly thing to do is for you to fly to our home country and pick her up. There are very many times where, hey, that's not possible, life happens, completely okay. If you're doing the latter where she's going to be just having a one-way plane ticket here, I recommend you also rent her out a hotel that's close to the airport. One thing you guys gotta know is, hey, with these countries, infrastructure is very different. It is. The last thing you want is for your woman to be camping out outside the airport. That's the last thing you want. But do be prepared to pick her up when she lands, if you're doing the latter. Definitely do. After that, you're going to want to get married immediately. And I know a lot of people like to prefer to get married at church, but hey, that has a bit of waiting process. It will also cost you a lot. So I recommend you do what me and Carlene did, because hey, time's not on your side when you're doing this immigration thing, and get married at the county clerk instead, and you have a church wedding later on. Yeah. Now, if you get married at the county clerk, it'll usually cost you about $30 to do it, to go for that process, and it'll be relatively very quick. And honestly, I will. Personally, I kind of prefer that, And then after that, you have the bigger part, where, hey, she's going to want to submit the application for her green card and worker's permit so she can begin working here in the United States. For my experience, the green card, that's the one the government really does care about. That'll cost you about $1,400. Worker's permit, don't think government really cares about that all that much. That'll cost you a little bit over $200. So $1,700 in total when you combine the two, roughly that. After that, it's just a matter of waiting time. I don't think you have to wait 6 months. It will most likely take, I don't know, probably 1 or 2 weeks, but you'll get it. After that, she'll have to do the exact same thing she did in the American Embassy here in America. I guess the reason why, because they want to make sure the Carlene that was in the American Embassy is the same Carlene that's here in the United States. Or, forgive me, the woman who went to the American Embassy is the same woman that was here in the United States. It's a very long process, it is. But I think after that, it should be golden. Now, like I said before, there are a lot of expenses in this. But to be honest with you, it literally is nothing compared to what you would be spending on the local Western dating market. It really isn't, from my personal experience with this. It actually is a lot more affordable to get a wife this way. And honest to God, it is. Whew. Let me tell you, this has been quite the journey. It really has been. Anyways,